And our chief political correspondent, Norman Smith, is, as promised, in Bath, where Nigel Farage is touring today. Hello, Norman.
Jane, hi. You joined me in the Volunteer Rifleman's Arms, a nice little bruiser in Bath, where I'm joined by Nigel Farage. And let's just pick up on those comments by Barbara Roach accusing you of racism.
They must be scared, mustn't they? The entire political class are rallying round Barbara Roach and throwing abuse at us. And it's a very good way, from their perspective, of avoiding debate. Because what they're really scared of is the very simple UKIP message that we've given away control of our borders. We now have an open door to 485 million people, and that is unacceptable, given that in the last 10 years we've seen wage compression, rising youth unemployment, pressure on accident and emergency, pressure on primary school places, and that actually there are too many people coming into Britain.
Okay.
And there is nothing about having sensible border controls, about deciding in terms of quantity or quality who comes to your country, that is racist in any way at all.
Okay.
And I would just add by saying 77% of the British population want us to reintroduce border controls.
Okay, another race row today. We talked about it earlier. One of your candidates down in Hastings saying that there's no such thing as a benign Muslim. Again and again and again, UKIP people seem to be saying unacceptable things.
Well, and if you look at the behaviour at the grassroots level of Lib Dems, Labour and Conservatives up and down this country, serving councillors, not just candidates or party members, who've been convicted of all manner of things over the course of the last 6 months, and yet you guys don't cover any of that.
When we spoke earlier, you suggested that this was somehow entryism, your opponents deliberately getting into your party to damage. I mean, that was just nonsense, wasn't it?
No, there may be some elements of that.
Do you have any evidence?
There may be. Well, we're carrying on an investigation at the moment. There may be some elements.
Seriously?
Of that. Yes, there may be.
Who?
What?
Tories?
We have seen all through the years. Labour, for many, many years, suffered from sort of communist Marxist infiltration.
And that's what you think is going on with UKIP?
From militant, and we have seen repeated attempts over the years by people from the BNP trying to get a foothold in UKIP to try and damage us. We have been very, very good every time at getting rid of them, but it's an ongoing sort.
Okay, here we are in a pub. Many of your press conferences are in pub. Let me put it to you, this is all very carefully crafted PR, because far from being an outsider, an anti-establishment candidate, you are a political in-house operator to your fingertips.
I'll tell you something. Unlike Clegg, Cameron and Miliband, I've actually had a job. I've actually worked in the real world.
You've been an MEP for more than 15 years, longer than Mr. Clegg's been in politics.
Yeah, well, you know, the Cleggs and co of this world go straight from university into research offices and into elected politics. I spent 20 years in the private sector, the last 9 of which running my own business. I am far more in touch with the thoughts, hopes and aspirations of ordinary people.
You're not an outsider or an anti-establishment candidate.
Well,
you are a politician to your fingertips.
Well, I would dispute that. But again, you see it's the same thing, isn't it? We're talking about a whole load of things that are diversions. We have in 3.5 weeks' time a European election. UKIP are saying there are 3 parties that have effectively given away our country, given away control of our borders, and it's something that is damaging British society and British business, and we want Britain to divorce itself from political union. Okay. And all this screaming and shouting from Barbara Roach, or you asking me personal questions, is deflecting the country away from having a proper debate.
Okay, where will UKIP be in 5 years' time?
I have absolutely no idea where any of our political parties will be in 5 years' time.
Finished, over?
I think we are entering a period of change in British politics, the likes of which we've never seen. If we are able in 3.5 weeks' time to cause the earthquake in British politics, which I still believe we have the capability to do, then we look at the general election of 2015 in a very different light, and we could see a big shift and a big realignment in British politics.
If there's a by-election before then, will you fight it?
Not before May the 22nd.
No, before the general election.
Oh, quite possibly.
Quite possibly, because it's possible there could be a resignation, and if there is, you would go for it.
Possibly. It would depend where it was in terms of geography. I've always said I wouldn't fight a by-election before the European elections. After the European elections, of course, I'll think about it.
UKIP are a one-man band, aren't they, you?
No, there are 36,000 of us, and tonight...
Well, without you, they're nothing.
Well, you know, tonight we have a meeting here in Bath. 1,500 people have bought tickets to come and attend that meeting. I've got a good team of people behind me. UKIP's growing up.
Okay, I'm going to ask you some quick questions on policy. Yes or no, please, no sort of waffle. Do you support HS2?
Absolutely, vehemently opposed, total waste of money.
Do you support university tuition fees?
I think it's regrettable that we send so many people to university.
Yes or no, please? Yes or no,
I would like to see them reduced.
Okay. Do you support Heathrow third runway?
No. I want to see Manston used.
Do you support same-sex marriage?
Yes, but I'm very concerned about what the ECHR may do to our churches.
Yes, but, OK.
Well, I don't think, again, you see, because we're members of the European Union,
OK,
this isn't a simple choice.
Let me just press on. Do you support Scottish independence?
No, I don't want to see Scottish independence.
Do you support ring fencing of the NHS?
No, I want to see us getting better value for money.
You don't support ring fencing of the NHS?
No.
OK, fine. Do you support a freeze on energy prices?
I want us to have much cheaper energy. We do that by stopping all wind subsidies.
And no will do if
tomorrow.
You don't support that.
I want to reduce energy prices by 10% overnight by ending subsidy.
OK, do you support reducing the abortion time limit?
Yes, I do, actually.
Do you support lowering the voting age?
No.
OK. If you had to have a drink with either Ed Miliband, Nick Clegg or David Cameron, who would be your choice?
Oh dear, you got me on this one. Well, at least Cameron does like a pint of beer, so I might meet him in an Oxfordshire pub.
Are there any circumstances you could go into a coalition with any of those people? Could you work with any of those people?
I think that if we have UKIP in the House of Commons in 2010, in a similar position to the Lib Dems a few years ago, where our MPs really make a difference, then I think doing a deal to secure a referendum would be the right thing to do.
OK, Nigel Farage, thanks very much. So there we are, some answers from Mr Farage of what he is in favour and what he is in favour of, but adamantly rejecting the charges there, as you heard from Barbara Roach, of racism. I'll be staying with Mr Farage for the rest of the day as he carries on his campaign here in Bath.
Thanks very much indeed. Norman Smith in Bath with the leader of UKIP.